This is going to be a sort of a history of my involvement in text editors. Um, I'm on a Unix machine, on a Mac OS machine, and I normally use the NeoVim editor. I use a particular one called LazyVim. But I'm going to show you, I'm going to go back a little bit. So basically, NeoVim came from Vim. It's a rewriting of Vim. And Vim is VI with macros. The M means macros. So it's an extended version of VI. And VI is it's sort of an extension of EX. That's kind of the history, the provenance of these editors. And EX and VI go back to I'm going to say the mid 1970s, late 1970s, something like that. They were being developed as part of the Unix development. Let's look at a file here. These are our files in this directory for the OCE project. It's an R package. So I'm using the command head here. So I just want to show you a little bit of how you could work with this in the X editor. Let's see. Let's suppose this. I don't actually like this word very commonly. It's used commonly. How do I just talking editorially now, how do I justify the word very? I think that's a weak word to use, and so I think I should remove it. So I'm going to edit that thing in all class. So I did, and let's get out of that first. You get into it by doing EX. Goodness me. So I could type visual right now. I could also get help for it, but I don't want to type visual. Maybe I'll do that in a little while, but let's see. So 1P, that means print line 1. And if I do, and actually I can just say 1 and it will print it. So I can also say 1, 10, and it prints the first 10 lines. This is how I worked when I was a grad student. We had a terminal, which was a printing terminal, and it would print out a line as you were typing on it. And if you're editing a file on the remote machine, because there were no local machines, just before the mini computer, that's what you do. And so if you had 1,000 lines, you would sort of work through it a bit at a time. And of course, it took time to print this out. We had another monitor. We had a monitor as well, cathode ray tube monitor, CRT. But that was mainly used for plotting. And so you're just working on code. You would give over and let one of the other grad students or postdocs use that one for plotting. And that was a trip in itself. It's a Tektronix machine. And but I won't get into that just for now. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. So I've shown you P and in this, what do I call that? That's what shall I call that? A range or something like that. Okay, so what line are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like 6. Let's go 6P. And we'll see that is that is what I want. So now what I'm going to say is, I think I can just say switch vary space to nothing. And you see that the word vary has gone away. So I do this all the time in Vim, in NeoVim, :s/. This is how you change stuff. How do I remember it? Because I did it long before I used VI. I can do W to write it. I mean, I think we should do that. Maybe I'll pop out of that now. Does that? Well, I'll just do Q to get out of it. And we'll doing a get diff, and you can see that the word vary is gone. So that's nice. But let me go back and edit it again. And it's saying you should type visual. So let's try that. Well, goodness, what we get then is I'm now in a VI editor. It's not NeoVim, it's the simpler VI editor. On my machine, I have it hooked up to be the simpler VI editor. So there's no colorizing of code and so forth. Very simple. But let's type a capital G to go down to the bottom, type GG to go back to the top, 10J to go 10 lines down, etc. And just for fun, I'll show you what that would look like then in NVim, NeoVim. GG to go to the top again. So now we get colorizing. We also get all kinds of stuff. It's doing all kinds of stuff in the background. It's colorizing based on some understanding of the syntax. And it's getting that understanding through something called tree sitter. It's fantastic, actually. So let's see, just as an example. So I clicked on present time. My cursor is at present time. And if I do GR for references, you can see all the places and all the files in this directory that are calling present time. And in fact, I can go down through them and see the top window, the red bar, I'm going down through them. And the bottom window there is showing me it in context. Really fantastic. How can this be done? Because computers are so much faster now. I'll just do maybe Q to get out of that. Oh, sorry, escape to get out of that. They're so much faster now. And just a little story about this EX and VI thing. When I was a student, there was another student or a postdoc. I don't fully remember who, but I think they were from the other coast, the University of British Columbia, I think, UBC. And I think, and I might be wrong on that, but I remember that they were saying at their institution when they were a grad student, must have been a postdoc then, when they were a grad student, people started using this horrible new thing called VI, and it was bringing the computer, the shared computer, to its knees. Why would that be? Well, the reason is that when you're editing in X, you basically are seeing more or less one line at a time. You type a command P to see a line. Maybe you're getting 5 lines being printed. Possibly you're printing the whole file, but these commands are sort of, you print something and think about it and do something. So it's doing kind of one line at a time times n users. So it's basically of order n is the cost. However, with VI, every keystroke potentially could be causing a redraw of the whole screen. So it's not changing one line, it's changing maybe 25 lines, something like that. So I would think that the cost then would be sort of 25n instead of n. Obviously, if you're doing 30 lines, then it'd be 30n. Now, if you have a machine that's on the edge of not being able to, and all machines, almost by definition, or shared machines tend to be pretty heavily utilized. If it's not heavily utilized, someone would say, well, we're going to deny your budget. You want new stuff on this shared computer? It's only being 10% used. You're not getting any new stuff. We're using that for, the people who need money for heating the buildings or whatever it is. So a factor of 25, factor of 10 in order of magnitude increase in the demands being placed on the computer is bad. And that's why this person was saying that, VI was a terrible thing. Gosh, if it's flash forward to today, with what's going on NeoVim is kind of amazing. But on the other hand, computers now following basically Moore's law, doubling in some measure of capacity every 1.5 or so time period, 1.5 years or so. That's a lot of doubling going back to the 70s. I'll leave it to you to work that out. That's it for the video. Little bit of a history on editing from a guy with what remaining hair exists is pretty white. The new year is coming up, so I wish everyone all the best for the new year. Take care. Bye.